face is red. I think my blood pressure's up here. Hi, I'm Jen. Welcome back to Now TV. And what's happening now in my life as I do these videos forever, like a decade now, on I Am Just Jen YouTube channel. So I did eat part of my dinner if you're watching the shorts, but I can't eat anything else. So I've wrapped the other half of my 2 banana boat sandwich on crunchy peanut butter. So I buy crunchy peanut butter now and again. Usually it's because something's really gone wrong. Today would be one of those gone wrong days where it warrants the extra crunchy peanut butter to help smooth out my soul or soothe me. Because when things go smooth, I eat Kraft Smooth peanut butter. My second favorite peanut butter used to be squirrel with the peanut on top, but that they stopped making that and they tried to bring over American peanut butter to Canadians that have European descendants of hundreds, if not thousands of years. And they tried to bring Jif and they put it in the same containers. Oh, that didn't go over well. It's not squirrel peanut butter. So we're back on Kraft. At least I'm back on Kraft as the only #1 peanut butter I have in my house to eat. I do eat low carb peanut butter sometimes that are really, really good for low carbs when you're doing diets and you want to reduce on sugars and stuff, and to use in place for feeding kids treats like peanut butter cookies where you're worried about their teeth and their high energy based on the sugar rush. Because you do have to put sugar in peanut butter cookies for them to be good. So if you're using a low-carb peanut butter instead of a sugared peanut butter, you can actually then put sugar in your peanut butter cookies and you don't have to worry about your kids flying higher than Superman. So, that said, that thing I said earlier today about the script that they sent me and paper and tree and whether to print it off, all I can say is thank my blessings. I'm glad I'm a Christian. So glad I believe in Jesus. So glad I believe in God. I'm so grateful I took my time and go slow. I didn't panic. But if I had printed that off, just the first page was not worth 60 cents of 60 seconds of my time. There were mistakes in that material in less than 60 seconds of reading it that I have never made, that were never on any pages, that have never happened in any time of the entire time that I have been working on the Smallville reunion movie 2-part story. It was literally the worst 60 seconds of reading a revised edition ever that I've read, specifically from a publishing company that was paid to write this revised edition for the publication of this movie as a book. I'm so upset. It's worse than death. Like funeral, family, somebody close to you. I'm losing my mind. Like I want to just go lie down on my bed and die. Like I'm supposed to go do my deep aquafit class tonight, and usually I do some laps before that. I'm so frazzled. I've lost my crap so bad. I don't know what's happening. I'm like going to cancel everything and listen to some of my meditation app stuff. And I'm just going to, try to vanquish myself from the existence of this world and this system. Because I've worked so hard in my life, accomplishing all that I have and having as much as I have, and still having not accomplished the millionaire status or the famous status or the successful status my work should have warranted me by now. And partly because of the dishonesty of other people, and partly because of the rules and regulations of an industry that's still practiced and followed by an old, outdated standard that, since internet and Wi-Fi and lived experience comes into play, has now replaced, and we don't need to be in the same categories and treated the same way in the world today. So I'm left hanging in the wind with what to do with the other copy I have, the Microsoft copy I have of the finished copy I have, which is a clean copy. Now, it may not look like a novel, read like a novel, but that's because I didn't write it to be a novel. It isn't a novel. And I tried to make that extremely clear to everyone because it's titled The Smallville Reunion Movie, Book 1, The Jonathan Kent Years. And so it's being published as a gift to people as a book, so they can own a copy and enjoy the manuscript that would normally go on a shelf somewhere and collect dust and never get touched or read again until somebody comes along and says, oh, let's do something new with this, or let's revive it. Or we've passed away, or it goes into, archives or something. But I thought, instead of it being wasted, let's not do that. Because this story has the ability to do a musical or theater production, because it has the ability to do animation or a cartoon, you can do audio with Audible. There's tons of options. There's just no reason for me, as the number one writer, as the lead writer, as the top, as the person who's the original creator, to write all of these different copies of possible manuscripts for one story when I have other things in my life to accomplish as a writer, right? I wouldn't have time to get more than a few things in my lifetime done if I was left to be holding the bag and the responsibility of doing all these other copies. Like, I didn't spend years of my life going to UCLA or other writing courses and schools to get degrees so I could be brilliant enough to do all these different variations of manuscripts. I don't have that time. I don't have that ability, and nor should I, nor should anybody, right? That is what all these understudies, that's what other people are for. That's what they all go to school for, so they can have jobs doing the things that they're good at. So that is the reason for publishing this work as a book, but with the title that tells everybody that it's a movie, given to them as a book for their benefit to enjoy, and then they have to watch the movie and see if there's any differences, and if so, what those differences are. And then they can enjoy owning both, and then they can say, oh, well, this was different than that, and I've never seen anybody do it this way before. That was a brilliant way of doing it. Why didn't they think of that before? Now they have a reason to own both. And that's the idea, right? That you get to enjoy both for the perfection that they are. But what they did, literally, would be called a butcher job. Now, I'm doing this video before I cut out for the night, because I've kind of really gotten to know Tom really well as of today. Embarrassing myself earlier with saying, ta-da, I got a script. It's the one that's supposed to be ready to go to publication as a book. And I'm learning really, really quickly today that even without words, that he has set me up. It's almost some borderline of abuse of his power in thoughts, emotions. But I don't want anybody to read the revised edition the publishing company sent me, so they read the same problem in 60 seconds that I read in 60 seconds, comparing my copy of the Microsoft Publishing file I have that I sent them to the file they sent me back today. I just want it all to be obliterated from my mind, from everyone's mind, from everybody's computers, flash drives, hard drives, everything. It's gone. It didn't happen. Erase it all, reverse time, like Superman did a few times to save Lois. And he'd been warned by his father, Jor-El, not to do that because you're messing with the creator, you're messing with God, you're messing with the nature of things that he was responsible for in the world. And yet I can't turn back time and undo what happened today. And all I can do is be grateful that I didn't print off this manuscript, because as I went a little further down, I saw that it was even worse. There was even more things I have never done as a writer in my whole life, things I would never do, and things I would never ever let other people charge me money for, to have me at home now revise and review and read through and fix and change, while they get to keep the money they were given for the butcher job. They have done. And in short, that is the key term I'm looking for here. They did a butcher job on my brilliant work. And I just want to crawl under a rock or go sink in the mud with the turtle from the Never-Ending Story or the frogs, the lily pads. It's the worst experience I could ever experience as a person who's paid another company, a publishing company, to do with my work. And the reason I paid for the paid publishing company, because nobody's read my work in all the years I've been writing. Nobody's agreed to talk about or promote or do articles or news stories or interview me. I've had letters back from people and stuff mailed back to me honoring the names and the titles and knowing that they're big, but still nobody will go to the next step or stage. Just to get to a point where what I just paid for was worse than anything any of those people I ever contacted or sent stuff to would ever have had to endure reading if they had taken the time to open and read what I wrote. What they sent me today was kind of like the idea of the treatment that the people in the industry are doing to those who submit stuff that is unsolicited. They're treating people who send in unsolicited material as if we're all uneducated, as if we're all those writers writing things as bad as this was that I just received today. And so treating me like I am that unintelligent or that incapable or that untalented by not reading the work now has caused me to be able to know what it's like to sit on the other side of the table, to have those chairs turned around and receive something from somebody that I've paid to write for me, revise for me. I know what it's like to read work that terrible given to me if I was the person being paid to read and receive these things in that kind of paid position. And it was awful. It was horrible. Horrible is like a nightmare. It's a horror story. And I would never want to get paid to have to do that every day for years of reading terribly written manuscripts from people, whether it was represented material or not, because you still have bad writers and bad English. And I'm not American English. I am European by descent. I am an English major. I am English by nature, by major. So there is a very big difference between our English and Americans and their English. And today what I got is absolute massive evidence of the difference of the quality of education they think they got to become the publishing writers or revisers that they think they are now, who are clearly much, much younger than me and clearly don't have the maturity or the discernment or the ability to do the job they're being paid to do. And now they want me to continue to fix their mistakes, teach them. Basically, they want me to be the masterclass instructor, and they want to be allowed to continue to take my money, charge money for those free instructing lessons. And it doesn't work like that. The answer is absolutely positively no. And I got an email back after I sent one page. I sent one page back of my original work into the Basecamp group. It's a special program we use to communicate, where all the mistakes are from that page of mine that I read in the copy they sent me. I wasn't going any further. I'm done. That's enough right there. But if you can't get a revised copy of that page right from a copy I sent to you that was already perfect, that was already right. The pilot of my script has been perfect since the day I wrote those first 39 pages. I haven't need to revise those 39 pages almost from the day I wrote them. And so if you can't really revise a script where that first page remains absolutely untouched and completely identical and perfect for the pilot and in the book, then you have a problem that you have to touch or change or do something different. If you can't be paying attention to the screen that you're copying and pasting from and not noticing when sentences or big chunks of messages and thoughts are completely missing, or when words are missing from sentences or shortened words are in place where there shouldn't be, that make no sense to the entire sentence or paragraph, then there's a problem. And it's a kind of problem so big that you should be offering the person their money back. You shouldn't be apologizing. Like what happened today when he wrote me back, where this conversation's going, where he said, oh, I'm sorry about that. We'll talk to him. We'll look through that information. We'll change that stuff on the copy we have, and we'll, ensure you that there'll be no more mistakes. We won't do anything like that again. But it was already too late when he wrote me back and said that. Because I had already read a little further along and seen enough terrifying mistakes. But I don't want to read this. I shouldn't have to. I'm already on blood pressure medication. And then if I read this, the rest of it, I'm going to go out and use drugs. Like, I'm literally going to go get drunk. I'm going to lose my mind. Like, I'm just going to dive off the board and go deep. So someone else is going to have to read the rest of what they sent me and literally circle and highlight how bad it is compared to what I sent them. Because I don't want the whole world knowing about it, reading it. And so there's just this one time and one chance for him to make up to me for the entire 8.5, 9 years, whatever it's been, that he's been like, oh, she's there. I know that. We've met and I know that too, but I'm still not going to say nothing like everybody else around me. Because he's not that bad of a person. He's a pretty good guy. And I've never seen Tom be this dishonest. I've never seen him do anything so secretive or dysfunctional or whatever, deceitful. It's just not in him. My Tom, my Charlie Baker, my Rob Metzler, dude, the guy in The Choice, just the basketball. No, sorry, it was the football guy. Even the dude from The Fog wouldn't lie and be like this in order to, get paid a lot of money to take pictures, smile, and autograph things. And so this is an opportunity for him, to pay homage, to make up to me. Because I don't see a way out of this. I think Tom Welling is the only person that can read the rest of the manuscript they sent me today. And I think Tom Welling should be the only person that should read the rest of the manuscript they sent me today. Because of the way I've been treated and the way he can confirm treating me was wrong, in the sense that if he reads this and then reads mine, he can tell everybody that what they wrote, I didn't write. And then when he reads what I wrote, definitely not the same. She's definitely good. She definitely has talent. She's definitely a career in this. And we shouldn't have done that. Her work should have been published, whether she was unsolicited or not. We should have supported it. We should have been following her pages and talking about her. And so now he can talk about how bad it was to read something that was revised by Americans, an American publishing company in America, of Canadian, European writing work. Because I don't have another way out for this. I have to be thinking, I'm convinced that he set me up. He literally did not want me to change the manuscript. Where did I put the one I did right? I think his instinct, his intuition had already complained to me, why would you pay anybody? Why would you pay anybody to revise your copy? I don't know where I put it. I've been packing my apartment because I have to move out of here because I'm sick of all the bugs and the mice and stuff. Oh, I don't know where it is. But my copy is good enough for people to read. We can do a pilot from that. It's good enough for him or Al or anybody else on staff for the show to finish fine-tuning with the index, chapter headings, page numbers, put in chapter pages, and any additional pictures and things we want, and work on cover, bio, and description. It's not that difficult, right? Because there really wasn't anything that needed to be changed. Like, in my manuscript, if you literally found 4 mistakes in the whole thing, that's great, wonderful, fine. That's what an A++ is. But this revised version from the publishers that I've paid, if you have that much mistakes in the first 2 pages, you shouldn't be charging money for any of this. You should still be in school and handing in your assignments to your instructor. And so it feels like he's directing and producing in me this story that's going to lead to masterclass teaching, right? And you're going to be the master of the class and the teaching, and they're all just going to be their students and co-starring on the stage and practicing with you because you have all of this experience and you've done this magnificent job, and he's going to find pieces he's going to want to read and share. So I feel like I had no way out of this, that today was sort of destined because of not getting the choice to read what I had finished in Microsoft Publishing first before making the decision to try and get somebody to make a copy of a manuscript that the agencies and the bigger publishers and Entertainment Tonight and E-Weekly and all those other people would read and acknowledge and report on and all that hoo-ha. And it definitely didn't happen. That's definitely not the result we got it from here. So I swear that was him shedding bad luck on me. Let's just pour some salt on that open wound. Her heart's on her arm. Let's just pour some salt on that. The writing. So I'm going to go die. I'm supposed to go to Aquafit and do labs. I'm not sure I'm going to feel well enough to do that. Pretty bad. Like if somebody had taken me in their arms today, I'd have probably just broken out in tears, like hearing that my uncle died. Like, and he did pass away last September. And it was horrible the way I learned and what I was doing for a living, frontline work, watching people overdose from fentanyl. I lost my mind then because of how many people had already passed away in the job I was doing around learning that my uncle died. Just awful. So this today was like that. Like if I can't get what I have written in Microsoft Publishing to Talkville, to Inside of You, to Michael, to Tom, to Al, if I can't get it to Jonathan, excuse me, yeah, he hates when I call him Jonathan. He just wants to be known as John Schneider. But I keep trying to tell John that it's a compliment when I call him Jonathan. Because as a professional writer, if he were to go to England and take his 29, his play, and go there, they would love him and love his work and eat it up. And he would go on tour in Europe and he would grow and become a Jonathan Schneider as a writer, opposed to Jonathan Kent, the farmer, or young Jonathan Master Kent from Kent, England. At any rate, John, if I could give you this work, this would be something to get us all in the right direction. I'm freaking out because the Canadian Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And so the time to do the town fair stuff and the pilot for my country on this side is toast. It's done. That's why I took my trip to Agassiz up to another Kent community, which could be an additional part of information in the story of the work I've done, along with the fact that American Thanksgiving is in November. And so you have your harvest and your town fairs and that season available there. So I'm like totally wrecked, like on the guillotine, because if I can't get this to somebody and we don't do something about it now, then you're going to go ahead and butcher up everything and do something very wrong because you're all not being yourselves anymore. You guys aren't the people that I loved and adored and honored and respected and I wanted to save and baptize and make Christians out of and live forever together with. Peace and unity, cook turkey, and share my wonderful, delicious food with, because I am good in the kitchen. If you think my writing is delicious, you think my writing is good, eat my food. You sit at my table and you eat my food, you ain't never leaving my table. You're going to eat nobody else's food. All the catering in the world will not impress you. You'll always say, where's Jen? What did you bring to the set today? We're taking a break. I'm hungry. I'm going to Jen's place. Jen's hotel room. Jen's trailer. That said, if you guys were friends with me and cooperating, literally in person. If we were not doing this hanky panky YouTube to YouTube, podcast to podcast, website to website stuff, you could have 3 months of celebrations of wonderful food from me, with me. So Canadian Thanksgiving, October, American Thanksgiving, November, Christmas in December. That's a whole heap of good meat. And it doesn't have to be turkey all 3 times. Right? You can have buffalo, caribou, elk, deer, moose, dynamite. You can have duck or goose. I can cook it all. Rabbit. We could go hunt and trap and get our own. But nonetheless, turkey 3 months in a row is still darn good. And my family, my grandmother, it's the best stuffing ever because it's such a British traditional stuffing that nothing beats British traditional stuffing. All this stovetop box stuff, store-bought food, kind of home cooking, that's not home cooking. So I'm losing my mind because the work is perfectly timed for right now in this season. And I'm sitting here doing these live videos and my shorts because I don't know what else to do to build up enough following and viewers to get the amount that I need so that YouTube will finally give me back my monetization powers because they wanted me to have something like 2,540 videos in shorts and viewers or hits or something to finish the monetization. Even though I've been doing the YouTube channel since 2011, like I've been doing this longer than Michael and Tom have been reconnected with each other. I've been doing this since the show came to an end, showing them all that I was leading, producing, and directing where the show should return to and pick up from. I was showing people as I was driving around in Canada to different areas where different sets could be done for different stories of different episodes at that time that I wanted to do that could have been done had we gone back to the TV show on time. So I have a ton of history to the biography of truth behind how naturally it was me and everything that's gone wrong in that time and in my youngest daughter's life and my oldest, both of them, and the separation between us in all of that time. And so I don't want to lose what's happening now and this time with this movie because I once again went from the beginning of the story when it was perfect and perfectly timed and again on time it's perfectly timed. And if we lose this perfect timed, outside of one major bad thing, which was Phil Donahue passing away, which was not good, because that means Christopher, Margot, and him are all gone, and all I have left is Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman's not in the Smallville reunion books. He's in the Supergirl trilogy. And I needed Tom Welling to take me to go see him years ago, so he could sit and enjoy reading that as his last masterpiece of revision of work he does from home. So that his penmanship and my A and our work together goes into an archives in a library where it sits enshrouded in plexiglass and security forever. And these wonderful trilogy movies of Hollywood blockbuster level in IMAX get made. And I can't reach that, right? Unless somewhere in all of this, the other shoe drops, the table turns. And what happened today? Well, the best way I can make something good out of this is by having him read that and be tortured and tormented for me. Have him suffer what I don't want to suffer reading through. Because I don't write that bad. And Al Ghul was wrong. And John was wrong. And everybody else treating me like that was wrong. I didn't write what you're going to read that they sent me today. I would never, ever think about being a writer or try to be a writer or send something out to be published by somebody if it was that bad. If I can't see my own mistakes like that, then I shouldn't be doing this. And I would know I'm wasting my time. But that's not the case. And so that's the best way I can think to end this today, this disaster. And my lower grade, I did pass my test. Okay, I get that I'm acting like it's the end of the world and it's death. Because I didn't get 17, 18, 19 or a perfect score on my 20 quiz test. But I don't like getting 4 or more wrong at all, right? I have a certain grade point average to get into the universities when it's time to register. that I can be accepted in to finish my Christian leadership BA that I must maintain. And in all of the years I've been doing these courses unregistered, as I'm collecting the credits so that it costs me less money this way, I'm smart. My grade point average is in the 3 point something, right? Most places want a 2.0, like they want straight A's. Now, I'm too old for straight A's. I'm not just out of high school. I don't need straight A's. 3.0 something is good. I'm okay with the 3.0. I have mostly A's. I have one B plus and I have one C, and I have an explanation for that, which I'm not going to talk about here. So today, getting 15 out of 20 because I got that manuscript and was on top of the world, high as a kite, thinking, woohoo, this is it. I'm going to have a hand copy of a printed book that I can show off and talk about and go out on tour and get autographs and take pictures with people and turn my back on everybody until they're standing behind me smiling, going, okay, we owe her that. She's right. We're wrong. She's awesome. And we have to make it up to her. And so that now has been delayed, right? And I couldn't concentrate. And so then I go to sit the test. And of course, I don't do as well as I would. And marketing's not my best genre of expertise, because if it is, I would not be having to do this from Canada, wandering around, why am I still here? Why am I not succeeding? Why isn't any of this working? So if you're good at marketing and you want to work for future productions, talk to me. Subscribe and contact me and all the stuff that I put in the description. So this drop in the result on the test makes a difference in the overall grade point average. So now, in the rest of this course I'm taking in marketing, I literally can't get another 5. I can't get 15 or 20. I can't get another test that's got 5 wrong. I can't. In order to maintain my 3.0. So that when I do finally register at a university with all the credits I have, when I only have a few left that I need to take, that I need to be a registered student at a university for to get my BA, I will still have a good enough grade that really good schools will say, yes, we'll accept you. And that's how important it is when good days happen, that they need to stay good days. When you're in school studying stuff and need to do well. So I'm going to go. I can't eat my dinner. Like, I'm just so upset. I'm going to eat like those rice cakes, the ketchup flavored ones. I'm going to act like, I'm just going to, postpartum depression. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. I think I'm going to just go knit or something. At any rate, I'm just going to go die. How do I get the script to you guys and bring this to an end? How do I get the communication and the relationship and the work together to start? How do I get the honesty to return to where it was? The integrity and the love and the honor and the respect to be at the level it was that got me interested in the show and made me passionate about it. Because for me, it was never about this show. It was about Charlie Baker. It was about Steve Martin. It was about producing a career and a resume of work that was good enough for that Steve Martin to look at and go, wow, she's amazing. Her work is great. She's fantastic. She's got a lot of talent. And then say, she can have the part. Yes, she's good enough to be Charlie Baker's wife or third wife or fourth wife, the last wife, whatever wife. On all the divorces and relationships and women he's been through, because this character was somebody he had known when he was 11, and then again in briefly in junior high, and then again in high school, and because she's older, she was out of high school, and he's still in high school, and they lose touch again. So until they meet again, story happens. I had to do something to get there, to earn that from Steve Martin. And so I'm plumb exhausted because I'm going on 50, and that wasn't the plan. The goal had been to be able to do that movie when I was going on 45, finishing my lifeguarding. So I don't know what to do about how off-putting all the deadlines are and all the people that were alive that are now passed away. I'm just devastated. So I'm hoping that this will reach the right people, that will reach the right people, because I want to delete that terrifying copy of the script I had just paid money to have somebody do and send to me, the butcher job, so I can send it to somebody before I delete it all, and then nobody gets it and reads it because I deleted it, and should be destroyed forever, so there's no proof that I paid money for somebody to do that. So hurry up, peace out, come to me, I'm gonna go crawl under a rock. See if I can make it to Aquafit at least, and maybe not laps. It's really bad. Shouldn't have done this to me, Tom. It's wrong. I know it. You're gonna let everyone read it just so you can turn around and say, of course I'm gonna let everyone read it because you didn't write that one. That's not gonna make it up to me. That's not gonna fix it. It's bad. I'm gonna get off now. Offline. I'm signing off live television. Oh God, it's horrible. The butcher job. The worst thing ever in the world for a person to get that they've paid for. It was a paid manuscript by a publisher. I paid them. They sent me back something so much worse than anything I had ever written in my life. I gotta go. Bye.